In this video, I'll show you how to construct a logical proof using the rules of inference. So we're going to step it up a little bit in terms of complexity, and you'll see what I mean by that in just a second. So by now, you should be familiar with what we're looking at here. This is an argument. We have lines 1, 2, 3, and 4. On each of these lines is a statement which serves as the premise of the argument. And then to the right of the last premise, which is on line 4 here, we tab over or space over, and we get the slash mark, which indicates the conclusion. The conclusion is the statement to be proved through a series of derivations using the rules of inference. So you'll need to be familiar with the rules of inference, why those rules of inference refer to valid logical forms, and then you'll be able to follow along with this proof as I do it. So the first step in the proof is to just familiarize yourself with what it is that we're trying to prove here and see if there's any way that we can get that tilde q from anything here, and it does not look like it. So it looks like we're going to have to do a series of steps here using the rules of inference to make some logical derivations. So we start looking for our patterns, looking for patterns of disjunctive syllogism, modus ponens, modus tollens, hypothetical syllogisms, anything like that. So you really need to be familiar with what those patterns look like. So if we take a look at lines 2 and lines 4 here, we see line 2 is a conditional with x being the consequent. And in line 4, we see the negation of x, which is the negation of that consequent. So you should recognize, or be pretty close to recognizing that pretty quickly, as a form of modus tollens, where the negation of the consequent leads to the negation of the antecedent. And that is a valid logical inference. So what we do is we add a new line to our proof. And since our last line was 4, we add line 5. And then we write the derived statement, which is negated v. And then we space over or tab over or just dot over. And then we write the lines that justify the use of the modus tollens. So that's going to be line 2 and line 4. And the rule of inference is modus tollens. And I'll just write that over here. Okay, so we go back and we look. Now that we have lines 1 through 5 to work with, let's see what we can come up with. Well, if we look at lines 3 and 4, we can see line 3 is a conditional with the antecedent, the negated v. If the negation of v, then s, and then line 5 is the affirmation of that antecedent. So we can just use the modus ponens rule of inference to derive s. So we'll start a new line, line 6, and we can derive s from lines 3 and 5 using the modus ponens rule of inference. And I'm just writing out the full word here just so that you're used to what the abbreviation stands for. So we're at a point in the proof where we're stuck. We can't apply any of the normal rules of inference, those patterns of valid arguments. There's just nothing really here that stands out. What this means is that there's a hidden pattern in here, and we have to now apply maybe another rule, another type of rule that will get us to see a pattern more readily. And this is where we're going to start thinking about using logical equivalence or the rules of replacement, which are basically the idea that when you have logically equivalent statements, you can just replace the one with the other because they're logically equivalent. So I'm just going to go ahead and write down line 7, noticing that line 6, S, is logically equivalent to the negation of the negation of S. And I'm going to justify that. That's what I do with the proofs. That's line 6, dn for double negation. Now, why would I do that? Well, I can see that my conclusion has to do with Q, or the negation of Q. And I've got S here, and I've got line 1, if Q then not S, and I recognize not S is the negation of the negated S. So since 6 and 7 are logically equivalent, that means that I can apply the rule of modus tollens, which negates the consequent and derives the negation of the antecedent, which is our conclusion. So line 8 is going to be tilde Q, or the negation of Q. Then I space over, tab over, and this is going to be lines 1, 7, using the modus tollens rule of inference. And since this is the, since we have derived the conclusion, our proof is complete.